to this for people not to go down to the beach, not to touch the oil. I've been down at the beach all day. It's school holidays. There are kids everywhere. There are dogs everywhere. There are people everywhere. There are no signs up saying stay away from the beach. There are no people telling them to get off the beach. What is Maritime New Zealand doing to let people know that they shouldn't be there?
As soon as we heard the reports of the oil on the beach, the police went to the area. They reported that, contrary to the information we've been given, that there weren't large numbers of women and children trying to clean up the beach and playing on the sand. They said there were a handful of people there. They warned them. What we have done is we've put a request into the Surf Life Southern Clubs to patrol the beaches and request people to stay off the beach and warn them about hazards. The Tauranga City Council are in the process now of erecting signs. They've started in the area of where the oil is concentrated, and they'll be spreading the signs further up and down the beach from that area.
I saw one police officer and somebody from Tauranga City Council, Rena, told me they had no advice about what to do, and there were kids with oil all over their hands. No one told them not to touch it. So people down there are quite angry that they're being allowed on the beach and not being told that they shouldn't be there. They're angry, and I want to know why there isn't more signage up, more people there telling them not to be there.
I don't think the people of Tauranga would have appreciated if we could put signs up and attempt to close the beach when there's no oil there. That's why we've been promulgating information. We've been saying to people, don't touch the oil, report it. It's difficult to communicate with everybody, but we're doing the best we possibly can. And as I said, we're putting the signs up now that the oil is there, and we can confirm that people actually now do need to stay off the beach. And we've put out not only notices, we've requested the media to assist us on this, and we appreciate that assistance in our attempts to advise the public and get the message out there to everybody possible. But we ask people to use their common sense as well. Don't play with it. It is toxic, and we don't want people to touch it. We don't want people to attempt to remove it. We will do it. We have the experts.
We have a duty as broadcasters to tell people not to be on there. At midday, I rang the Maritime New Zealand media team, who told me they couldn't confirm if there was oil on the beach, but people down there were finding it early this morning, 8, 9 o'clock this morning. Why was it so long before we were given the information to people that there was oil on the beach?
I can't answer that. I don't know what problem it might have been with internal communications, but certainly what I can tell you is that as soon as we received the reports of oil on the beach, we immediately sent our survey teams down there to assess the situation, and in fact they turned people away and warned people, and then following on behind them with the police, then the Tauranga City Council staff with the signs.
I've got a question for Rob. It's Kim Vanel from TVNZ. What do you make of the Maritime Union's claims that Maritime New Zealand knew that the Rena had some pretty serious deficiencies in terms of safety, particularly with charts? She was taken off, I think, in Australia when she was checked in July, and then again in September in New Zealand. Is Maritime New Zealand aware of that?
My job is to also a response, and in my role in Maritime New Zealand, that sort of activity is not part of my remit, so I'm unaware of any deficiencies or otherwise that the ship may or may not have.
Would you be concerned, would you be concerned at recent reports that the captain may have been drunk at the time that the ship was ground?
It's quite inappropriate for me to make any comment on what might have led to this incident. That's subject to an investigation.
Hello, Mike here from Fairfax Media. So you said that the first time you start cleaning up will be tomorrow. How long would that take? And how long are you guys going to advise for people to stay up for being? Will you just be months into summer, or do you know what you do?
I'm not in a position where I can predict how long it will take. What I can tell you is that there is more oil out there. There is the potential for more oil to be released from the ship, and depending on the weather conditions, the more oil will come ashore inevitably, but some oil may well be swept offshore. At the moment we have onshore conditions, so the oil that is out there is heading this way. It really depends on what happens out there with the ship and how fast the salvors are able to secure secure the situation out there and prevent further spillage and weather and what happens in that regard. At the moment we have onshore conditions for the next couple of days, so we expect more oil to arrive on the beaches.
The thing was, what did you say first?
The Makatu estuary, it's a sensitive site, high ecological values, wildlife, and we put booms in the vicinity of the entrance there in order to attempt to prevent oil from getting in there. Can't guarantee that no oil will get in there, but we're doing the best we can in that situation to prevent oil getting in.
Lorna Perry, Radio New Zealand. Has more oil actually been found leaking from the vessel, the grounded vessel?
There was a release this morning, a relatively small amount. I've not had any reports of further leakage.
And there have also been reports that it's going to take months for that oil to be removed from the ship. Can you give an idea on how long it's actually going to be to get the oil off the ship? I mean, it sounds like there's been considerable delays until now.
As I described earlier,
Excuse me, Dominic Tools from the ABC. Would you mind standing to the microphone specifically?
there's approximately 1,700 tonnes of oil on board the vessel. Of that, it's contained currently in 4 wing tanks. Those wing tanks, as we've described on previous occasions, once we can connect up the Awanui and do this in a safe manner, we will be able to start pumping. We anticipate that once that's commenced, it's going to take between 30 and 40 hours to remove the bunker fuels.
But it's 30 to 40 hours in one consistent motion. But obviously there have been delays. Could this be extended, to weeks down the track?
We're waiting for a weather window where it's safe to operate the pumping operations. If there is a 2-week window, that would be it. But I'm anticipating, looking at the forecasts, that we will be into a more settled patch of weather in the very near future, in the next couple of days. That isn't stopping the Awanui trying again this morning to come in. As I mentioned, the bow thruster is overheated this morning. We're replacing the crew with a different crew. So I'm anticipating that the Awanui will have another attempt to hook up and start transferring oil in the very near future.
How are those crews doing? I mean, they must be pretty exhausted if they're working through the night.
They are working hard. They are able to get time to have rest periods, but they are conscious that this is an important thing that they have to do, and they are working quickly and safely and hard to make things to remove the oil.
So at this point, you don't know when you're going to try again to pump oil on the ship?
They're trying it all the time. So I was out there this morning. They were trying to connect up the vessel, the Awanui, and they will probably be trying again late this afternoon. It depends on the weather conditions at a particular time and the overheating, obviously, of the thrusters in that state.
But just confirming they haven't been able to take any off today, is that right?
Last night at 20 past 8 o'clock, they were. This morning they connected up, but they weren't able to commence the transfer.
Is the crew still on the ship? Sorry, Andrew Campbell, Sunrise. The freighters crew still on board?
The majority of the crew are. They have gone to a reduced manning, mainly because you have a large number of salvage crew now sitting on board the vessel. So you have 25 odd salvers on board the vessel. So you do tend to get a little bit of cramped conditions there with all those people on board. The crew are actually the best experts who know that vessel inside out, and they're an important resource for the salvers to be able to use to undertake activities on board the vessel.
And what stage would the weather be, or have to be at before when you start thinking about evacuating?
The salvage crews are monitoring the vessel at all times. They're looking for any signs of deformation in the hull of the vessel. But that's not an instant thing. It doesn't happen quickly, it happens over time. And what you'll see is you'll start seeing signs of deformation on the vessel. There are no, apart from it coming up onto a reef, there are no obvious signs of deformation in that vessel at this time.
Grace and Otway, News Talk TV. Question for you, Rob. The dispersants used, what has that done to the oil as far as toxicity goes? Has it added to the toxicity of the oil?
dispersant that's being used is Corex at 9500. It's probably one of the most widely tested dispersants in use in the world, and it has a relatively low toxicity. So we're talking 10 to 20 times less toxic than standard dishwashing detergent, and most of the active ingredients are the same as you find in household shampoos. So we're not talking an incredibly toxic product. When it's used on oil, the way that it works is it breaks the oil into small droplets and it drains those into the water column. The oil itself is relatively toxic, and so that increases the toxicity of the oil, moving it from the surface into the underlying water. And that's where the issue lies with the use of dispersants.
How successful has it been?
The initial trials we've done have been inconclusive. Heavy fuel oils are very difficult to disperse chemically. And we've done extensive testing on wetted oil that we've had available to us, and we can tell from that that the wetted oil is not going to be chemically dispersible. We're still unsure on the fresh oil. We've got a team in from Singapore and up from Hawthorne in the South Island. They've got thermometers which will allow us to measure the effectiveness of the dispersant on the fresh oil should any more release than we try another application.
Is that disturbing that it hasn't been able to cut through that older oil?
It's not surprising. That's an expected outcome for that type of oil.